Hi guys, welcome back to this video. This is a long overdue video, guys. I just survived my first wedding anniversary. Okay, I got married at a very difficult time. I had so many obstacles because during this time COVID was at its peak. A lot was going on, but somehow I only managed to postpone my wedding once, which I think is not so bad. So my wedding was initially to happen in August. It happened in December, and today I'm gonna talk to you, especially ladies who are going to get married. I'm gonna give you a few lessons that I learned along the way planning this destination wedding. It is not easy to plan a destination wedding, guys. That's number one. But many of us, especially if we live in the diaspora, you wanna go take your wedding back home, and it's not your fault. It's because you want to get married with your family surrounding you. Personally, the reason why I wanted to get married in Kenya is because most of my family is in Kenya. I love my grandmother so much. I didn't want her to miss my wedding and my extended family. And I know all these people couldn't get visas to come to the United States for my wedding. Another thing is also my husband has a huge family. Of course, we had to put that into consideration, and we decided to have a ceremony where the family is, which is Kenya. It was an amazing decision. We were all on the same page, and we love that we made that decision. Also in Kenya, weddings are an amazing ceremony, all-day affair, as opposed to the US where you get just a couple of hours and somebody comes to kick you out for the next wedding to come in. So we wanted to have that, okay? So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about planning this wedding. Ladies, if you're planning to get married, there are a few things you need to know. Number one, you need to be very, very careful who you deal with, especially the people you bring into your space, the people you talk to, the people you ask for advice from. These have to be people you really truly trust. It's not easy. Now, having said that, also I came to learn that the burden of planning a wedding really lies on a woman, because for me, I literally did everything. I planned my own wedding. I didn't hire a wedding planner, and I was doing this from abroad. So there's a lot of issues, especially when you're trying to find good vendors. Guys, that's one of the issues. Finding good vendors in a place you don't live at, you don't belong. So for me, I had to find a very trusted person who was also my wedding coordinator. Her name is Doreen D. And this girl really helped me. So you need to find that person you can trust to help you. Number one, you need to understand something, especially for my sisters who are Kenyans who live abroad and you want to do your wedding back home. Try use the Kenyan number, because some of these vendors see an international number and you're on a different pricing list. Your prices automatically you're on a different lane now. So you have to be able to find vendors, and there's so many vendors that are needed for a wedding. So for me, I used my girl Doreen. She would look for vendors for me. We would have conversations, consultations, and then finally we would have contracts. And so she really did a good job of getting me people who she's worked with before, because also she's a wedding planner, and getting me people she knows. For example, actually most of my vendors work through her, and she would negotiate the prices for me. And if I was not comfortable, I would literally just come in and be like, no, let's work it out, let's meet halfway, and it worked perfectly for us. Another resource that I used to find vendors was, and this was something a friend told me, was this group on Facebook called Brides on a Budget. Guys, if you're getting married and you're abroad and you're getting married in Kenya, please look up that person on Facebook. You might not use anybody in that group, but you will definitely learn a lot about weddings, about the kind of vendors you need, about what you need to do, because most of us, we are going into this thing blind. We've never been married before. It's my first wedding. I didn't know nothing about weddings, I learned. And honestly, this whole wedding planning thing is nerve-wracking. So if you go to that page, Brides on a Budget, it's a group. Actually, if you go to join that group, you learn a lot. I learned a lot in that group. I joined that group 6 months in, and I really got to learn so much. Okay, so guys, again, vendors, have somebody you trust on the ground Remember, you're abroad. Have somebody you trust on the ground to do this. Another thing you need to know as a bride, do not succumb to pressure of people, okay? Everybody wants to tell you about how to plan a wedding because that's how they plan their own wedding. Remember, this is not their wedding. This is your wedding. It is all about you. It's all about what you want. Sometimes you come out strong because you want what you want and people look at you like you're being a bitch. Don't worry. It doesn't matter because their opinions are very irrelevant. At the end of the day, you're the person who's going to walk down the aisle, not them. And so, because you only have one day to do this wedding and you want to look back and not regret one thing, please be present. And number two, be very conscious. Be part of the process because you only want the best for yourself and the man you're getting married to. So it has to be something that works for you no matter what. Do not succumb to pressure, guys. I remember fighting my way out. I remember fighting. Just because people want to impose on me their own ideas. People want to tell me, oh, no, I had to. There's so many things. I mean, there are things number one, I'm sorry to say this, if you're a fan of this song, that Jerusalema song, I burnt it. I said, no, you're not going to play this at my wedding. I called my DJ and told my DJ, please, do not play that song at my wedding because if you do, you're fired. Okay? Why did I do that? Because I had seen 1,000 weddings with this one song. Okay? I don't have to be like the other 1,000. I just wanted something for me. And so, of course, I didn't want that. But initially, when I was supposed to be married in August, Jerusalem was one of the routines that we were doing. And we had nailed it. But that had to go because after that, there was just too much Jerusalem all over the place. Another thing is just refusing to be bulldozed, you know. For example, there was a situation where I'm being told you have to let your in-laws come and see you before you go walk down the aisle. And I don't think so. I felt like that's not right. I'm not officially their woman yet. So let's just wait. I will come from my mom's arms. I'll walk down the aisle and my in-laws can take me after that. As soon as I say I do, I belong to them. These are things that you have to say. Don't allow people to just bombard you with the ideas, to push ideas on you. You have to sit down after your wedding and feel that, wow, my wedding was exactly how I wanted it to be. Because if it wasn't, you're not going to do this wedding again tomorrow or next week. It's done. And if you're going to get married, maybe you're probably going to get married to another person. Guys, it's done. Just remember that wedding dress has to be what you want. Everything that goes on at your wedding has to be exactly what you want. Let people think you're a bridezilla. Let people think you're a bitch. Let people think. You have to make sure it's exactly what you want. At least fight for it so that you are not going to regret after the fact. Another thing you need to remember is that when you're getting married, the wedding is pretty much a woman's affair, guys. Don't be that woman who is pressuring your man and forcing him and pushing him to do stuff. And just understand that some of these men don't know how to handle this stuff. At least from my own lessons that I learned. Because I realized that my fiance at that time didn't exactly know what to do, guys. Of course, I had to, at first I was like, this is your responsibility, you will take care of this and that, and I'll take care of this and that and that. You know, it reached a point where I had to literally pull links and give him and tell him, please give your groomsmen this link to order clothes. Guys, if you want to be a happy bride on that wedding day, learn this ahead of time, way early in the game, that this guy, he'll only show up to get married. If you have a man who's involved and he's able to do stuff, you're a lucky one. You're one of the few lucky people. But ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, this is a woman's affair, guys. We are literally running the show on our own and then having the man show up. So for me, I had to take care of everything. Even I had to make sure I know exactly where he's getting his haircut before this wedding. I was worried because the whole time he didn't even have groomsmen that I knew of, and I kept asking him, who are your He keeps telling me, oh, no, I have 4. At that time, I already had 12, but some of my maids couldn't make it because of very unavoidable circumstances. And so he said his number was growing slowly. At some point, I started thinking, maybe I should help him get, do this groomsmen thing. But that is it's an intimate, that is the one thing you should leave him to do, because that's these are his men. He has to be knowing who he wants to walk with him. I think there I had to give him that, and he came through, but he really came through slowly and easy. And being that you're stressed when you're planning a wedding, it was very stressful just thinking, is he doing it? Is he ready? And I'm gonna say this, 2 days before my wedding, most of our groomsmen had not even bought their ties and stuff like that. And guys, I'm telling you, I came to learn that this is not unusual. Most men are just last minute people. And actually, they all got their haircuts the day before the wedding, before they went to their bachelor party. And I was panicking as a woman who likes to be prepared, as a woman who likes to plan, and I wanted my wedding to be perfect. I was like, okay, guys, and even they were not able to nail the dance. This is coming on another video. Because these guys they are just last minute. They thought they can learn the moves in an hour and they're good to go. Okay, so guys, ladies, don't feel that your man is not supportive. It is just that some men don't exactly know how to be part of this whole thing. We just have to take over and do this, because at the end of the day, it's actually your day. Even though it's your wedding, you're both getting married to each other, it is actually the day of that bride. That's your day, okay? And since there's no do-over, you can't be married and say, oh, something went wrong, let me repeat this tomorrow. Just put in the work, do it, and just make the day perfect. Do not let anybody try to make you think that the decisions you're making are not fit unless it's not fit for you, and you know for sure it's not fit for you. When it comes to this, for me personally, not even my mom would shift my thought process. If this is what I want, it was going to be what I get, even though it wasn't a perfect wedding of which you have to watch the next video, because I'm going to talk about what went wrong. And I am sorry, because these things go wrong a lot, and I have to share my experience so that you learn from it.